Please listen carefully.
So, the holidays around the corner.
Yeah.
Gifts are kind of a big thing for people, like to give. So, well, first let's start off with what has been your favorite gift that you've received? It can be fitness related or not fitness related.
Yeah, and this year is interesting because so many things are back ordered.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, if you're looking for dumbbells, plates, barbells, I mean, you probably should have ordered last month just to have a chance at getting it by the holidays.
Yeah.
What have I received that would be my favorite? I'm bad at these questions, both from like a recall standpoint of like just remembering what I've gotten, but then also my problem is that I generally just buy myself what I want. And so this is just an ongoing thing that I do where, especially around the holidays, if I see something that I want, then I'll just get it for myself. So,
yeah.
Diddy doesn't love that. Generally what I ask for, because some of the fitness related stuff can definitely be on the pricier side. Mm-hmm. Generally what I do ask for are more clothes related to either coaching or working out. Mm-hmm. So some of the companies that are pretty typical and out there are things like Lululemon. For guys, the company called 10,000 is, I think the guy who started that was a Lulu exec, and then he realized that there was a space in the market for guys workout clothing.
Yeah.
Because Lulu typically focuses more on women. Mm-hmm. So he started a company called 10,000. And I would say those, for ladies, Athleta or Athleta is definitely out there. So apparel, clothing, comfortable clothing is definitely up there in terms of workout shorts, shirts, pants.
I think pants are a big one, just because, especially with the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I remember growing up when I would play basketball in the winter, you always get those breakaway pants and warm up pants.
The button
It's like, all right. Yeah. And there's something that's just so appeasing about that. But I'm not going to go out and buy some of those. But something that I can wear outside, come in, and maybe not be overheated, or that's easy to warm up in, and then when time comes, all right, take those off, have my shorts on underneath, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm looking still for, because the jogger style or the tapered ankle style is popular now, right? And it may swing back the other way at some point. But I'm looking for a jogger like this style, but with more of a zip up ankle.
Yeah.
Right? So that it can be easier to take off over the sneakers.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen a solution for that. I'm sure there's one out there, but that's something that I'm kind of on the hunt for. So I don't have a great answer for that, but.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I will say most of my clothes come from Costco. Yeah. So their selection is very limited. It's comfortable and cheap, but they don't have that. They also don't last terribly long.
Yeah, for sure. So, what's on your list?
For what was my favorite so far?
Sure. Or even what's on your list for now?
For now, favorite ever was when I got my lifters. In terms of fitness, favorite gift ever was an Epiphone G400 SG400 that I got in 8th grade. It was so much fun.
Which is?
An electric guitar. It's based off of the Angus Young's Gibson.
Gotcha.
Which is thousands of dollars versus this one, which is $400.
Right.
So one's more affordable. Yeah. So I got that for Christmas one year.
Cool.
And it's currently hanging up on the wall in my office at home. Fitness, the shoes. This year, I really want to get a Theragun under the guise of giving it to my fiance.
Right.
When really,
Hopefully she doesn't watch this.
yeah. Oh, I'll hide it from her until afterwards.
Okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
And that way, because I think recovery is important.
Yeah. So what's a Theragun?
A Theragun is essentially I guess like a deep tissue massage machine. Justin described it the best. It's like a Sawzall with a lacrosse ball at the end, except quieter and a little bit more efficient. And I'm really looking forward to that because I feel tight after a few workouts. I do mobility still every day, or just about every day, but sometimes that's not enough and doesn't get in the spots that I need it to. So I'm looking forward to something like that.
Yeah, I have the Theragun Mini, which I think is perfect because they sell some big ones that you actually, use with two hands to, you can turn it in towards yourself and really, it's a percussive machine, so it'll move at, thousands of repetitions per minute, and it's a self massager, right? So they have ones that you can manipulate with two hands. Those can be upwards of like $600. The Mini is under 200. And so it's the Theragun particularly, and then there's also there's another company out there.
Yeah, Theragun. I just heard an ad for Theragun. That's the only reason that I can think of their name.
So anyway, you can use it with one hand, but hitting the big muscle groups like your legs, your calves.
Yeah.
You can get the tops of your traps, and even your lats to really kind of self massage. So yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Something else that I really like, and I've had a few of these over the years, are water bottles that can help keep track of how much water you intake. Emily got me one when she was in college, and I saw it as like a self-competition because I would set my goal as like 96 ounces per day. All right. And then it would say, oh, you've drank so much per hour. You need to drink this much per hour.
So there's like a meter in the cap? Is
Yep.
that the deal?
Yeah, and it tracks how much comes out of the mouthpiece. And it's a lot of fun. Downside is it's not dishwasher safe, so it has to be hand washed, but not the end of the world.
Is the bottle, can the bottle part?
The bottle part is top shelf.
Okay.
But the mouthpiece is not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so you can make it like a game of like how much you're drinking, or if you're particularly goal oriented and like to see the numbers and the progress throughout the day, that's keeping you in check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like if it's in the summer and you need to drink more, you can up it a little bit, and then you can also use that as one way to gauge, like in a gym perspective, like your performance. If you're feeling dehydrated, obviously drink more. And it was just so much fun to keep track of and play with. And then I broke it. So I got a new one, which is a lot of fun. It doesn't have the electronic meter.
Okay.
It has just like these notches. So you twist the cap, and one notch is, I think, 24 ounces.
Got it.
So every time you finish the bottle, turn it once, that's up to 4 notches, so that you can.
Okay, so it's more manual.
Yeah.
Based, okay.
Yeah. So you can still gamify it in a way, but I liked seeing it. I haven't been able to find the original one because I think that was just sold at her university. So I'm still on the prowl for something like that.
Yeah. Something else that I have that I really like is the Power Dot. So it's similar to a Theragun in that it's essentially a self-massager, but it's more of a muscle stim. And the reason I like that is because it's number one, wireless. So your phone is the controller.
Nice.
And then it communicates with these 3 pads that are all connected to each other. So there's like one main unit, and then there's wires that string off to 2 other pads. And so, if you're feeling really sore in your quads, you can put the main unit. They'll show you diagrams on how to place it, but like one in your mid thigh, and then the other 2 up near the distal end of your quadricep. And you can also get a pair, so you can get one for each leg. So
nice.
And then what you do is with the app, you have it stimulate the muscle. So it's less, it's a little bit more passive because you can just kind of sit there. Whereas the Theragun, you're more active with where you want to, target, which can be good and bad, right? Like if you want to hit all different areas with Theragun, that works. With the Paradot, it's only going to be the one area for like 20 minutes because they're set programs.
That's pretty cool.
But those are pretty good, and they're similar. They're not to the highest power like you would at a physical, at a PT or something like that.
Yeah.
But they're pretty good for home use.
Nice.
And they usually have some pretty good sales. So Paradot. Also.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look into that myself.
Yeah.
How often do you find yourself using that?
I only think about it or feel like I need it if I'm feeling really pretty sore.
Yeah.
It's something that you can do theoretically every day, and they have different protocols for recovery versus rehab. And so the idea is, it'll send different strengths of electrical signals to the pads to stimulate the muscles and contract them. Nice. And so some of them are strong but short, more acute, and then others are more like pulsing, like do, 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 right? Okay. So you can see your muscles contracting, and you'll be like twitching. But it that's the point of stim, muscle stim. Yeah, so it gets the blood flowing, helps recovery, flushes, stuff out, that you don't want in the muscle groups. And
so after a tough workout, like if you did Manion,
perfect, yeah, that or the Theragun, or both.
Yeah.
Right? Like either one can definitely work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Compacts, like Paradot, compacts are probably the two main muscle stim, companies at least in the functional fitness space, the consumer space.
Now, what type of gift would you suggest for somebody who's newer? Like say somebody's significant other just started in a gym in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Let's say 6 months to a year.
Yeah, the first thing I would probably turn to are shoes.
Yeah.
Because typically people start working out wearing their normal sneakers. Yeah. Which are fine, totally fine. It's just that they're typically more foamy, and we've talked about this on the gear podcast, but they're typically more foamy. They're not that stable because with some of the lifting that we do, some of the jumping, you actually want to rely more on the stability than the cushion factor. Yeah. So a more CrossFit style, functional fitness type shoe, I think is good. The two big players are Reebok and Nike. So they have, the Nano. Reebok makes the Nanos, which are pretty geared towards functional fitness people. Yeah. Nike makes the Metcon, and then there are other more smaller companies like Noble and Strike Movement that also cater to these audiences. So generally I would start with like Nike or Reebok simply because they're the most common. But
probably more easily available.
Yeah, more easily available. You can try them on at Dick's if you want the person to try it on, or at least exchange. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my big leap of faith with Noble. I mean, I love the shoes. Right. But I never had the opportunity.
Tried them on.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just took a shot in the dark, and I mean, I haven't turned back.
Yeah.
But it's definitely if it's the first shoe, definitely go for like a Nike or a Reebok.
Yeah, and chances are, typically what people find are they have several pair of workout shoes.
Oh yeah.
So between just the colors and the designs that are available, plus also just you start out with one and then you realize it might not fit as great, but it fits fine, so you're not going to throw them out. It's just, you're going to try other brands. So
yeah.
It's not unusual for people in here to have more than one pair. Well, more than one pair. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking about it now. Is like I have a pair of old Metcons that still work. I just don't use them because I ended up getting the Nobles, and then from the Nobles I have these Nobles. Right. So a different kind, and then I have the running Nobles. Yep. And then I have my lifters. Yep. And I realized that I have a lot of shoes just now. Yep. That might be an issue because I've never thought about.
I think that's reasonable. I think that's reasonable. Lifters to me are a specialty shoe. Lifters are a separate category.
It's like a dress shoe.
Yeah. So to me, that's not. I wouldn't consider that in the same categories as kind of standard sneakers.
No, without a doubt. I would be concerned if I was walking around the mall in lifters.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would be very uncomfortable.
What would be on your list for a beginner?
Other than shoes, I think shoes are important just because you need that foundation. Something that I've seen that helps people out a lot, and it's very affordable, is their own jump rope. Because
custom jump rope, or their jump rope.
Because what I like about us is that we have jump ropes that are all the same length, but not every place has that availability. So instead of kind of guessing and checking, it's like, okay, this one's slightly longer, this one's slightly shorter. If you're using your own jump rope the entire time, it's just going to be a lot easier for you to become more familiar with it, and a lot easier for you to practice. You can also practice at home. If you're working out at home, you have something to use. You can start off at like $15, $20 at getting your own rope and building from there.
Yeah, and not that many people are traveling, but when you do travel, jump rope is the easiest thing you can pack because it's small, it's light. You can pack it to anywhere, right? Yeah. And generally, we have our standard length jump ropes, so we have 5 different lengths. And then people find the length that they are suited for, but then we also sell from United Metal jump ropes that can be cut to any length. So usually what we say is, try out these fixed length ropes, see which one you like. If you feel like you're even in between sizes, get yourself one that you can cut to size, and then just cut it to the size that you like, maybe a little bit longer, or keep a little bit of
that
excess on the end. That way, in case you want to lengthen it up, that you can. But then at least it's a consistent size and consistent length for you.
Yeah, and like I said, that's one of the easiest things to get. It's one of the most affordable things to get. Easy, a gift to find. It's not back ordered right now, like everything else in the world.
You can find jump ropes.
Yeah, they are available. They are available right now. But I think that is the simplest and the most effective gift. Like, I was ecstatic when I got my first one, and then I got the one that I now have, and I love using it. I'll use it anywhere. Because it packs.
Not that we end up using this, but to speak to more of the female athlete, there's a company called Chesty, and I think there's a few other companies that do this, but they have a neoprene sports bra. Where when you're doing like power cleans or even front squats or push presses, anything where that bar is resting on your collarbone, for our ladies in the room where having bruises is not going to be the best look on your collarbone, right? A company called Chesty makes a sports bra that has neoprene in it, and it comes up to your collar. So when you are doing hang power cleans or push presses and the bar is coming down on you, it minimizes the bruises. So just want to mention that for our female listeners.
Yeah, I wish there was something for guys like that, because
I think they make other things besides the sports bra. I think they make a men's shirt actually.
Oh, cool.
I think they've expanded. I think they got their first. They call it Chesty, for the original sports bra, but they've expanded their line. I do think they have men's related things, and then I also think they make, either them or some other companies will make like shin guards for box jumps.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And things
for box jumps.
Things like that, or shorts with neoprene in it for like when you're coming up in a clean or a snatch.
Yeah.
So that you're not scraping yourself or bruising yourself.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So there are definitely companies that have these more protective functions to them.
Yeah. Yeah. For somebody going with somebody like a little bit more experience, I think like good rock climbing, good rope climbing, that type of climbing socks are incredibly beneficial, because I've worn so many different soccer socks, high socks with pants, soccer socks with pants, and I still get rope burn. And a friend of mine turned me on to these Rogue shin guards that he has never once had any rope burn on his leg, which I thought was impressive, because I've never once not gotten rope burn. So, I mean, that's also a testament to how
So
tightly I grip.
Is there padding in it? Or
Yes,
is
there's
it-
like a very thin shin guard,
Okay.
which I imagine is probably pretty close to the shin guard for a box jump.
Yeah, gotcha.
Which I guess, yeah, you can use that for box jumps as well.
Right.
I don't know how durable it would be up against a box, but
Yep.
against a rope, that type of sock pays dividends, in my opinion, because it always hurts putting pants on the next day.
Got it.
Yeah. Something I never thought about until he showed me them.
Yeah. You know, for people who are looking to work out at home, I think depending on budget, you know, you can always, while their stuff is back ordered right now, looking at dumbbells, barbells, you know, your rowers, air bikes, like I think those are all, you know, the same thing that you would get in a gym. You would also think about buying from, you know, there's a lot of companies out there. I think Rogue Fitness is probably the most well-known.
Yeah.
They've been around for a while and have revolutionized a lot of the products that have been kind of stale before. They've like really revitalized them, and because they're made in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio, they're made in the USA, so the quality is a lot higher. The one thing that would be different for home that I see a lot are things like squat racks, where they're foldable,
Yes.
or they're on a hinge, so you can put them up against the wall.
Yeah.
So that's something that you wouldn't normally see in a gym that would be different for home, right?
Yeah.
So like a barbell that we use here, you would also theoretically have at home, right? Bumper plates that we have here, you would have at home. But the squat racks we have here are not necessarily things that you would have in a garage if you're looking to park your car in.
Yeah.
Right, or in a room that you use also as in your basement that you're looking to like have people around or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you want to fold it in or, you know, hinge it up.
Yeah, no, I think that's an excellent thing to have, and because, like you said, you're still able to utilize that space for whatever you want it to be. I mean, a squat rack could be a nice talking piece,
Right.
when you have company, but
Right.
I don't know how many people are having company right now.
True. True. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a great one, because otherwise you're cleaning and then pressing or jerking and then receiving on the back rack if you want to back squat. And at that point, you're not doing heavier weight that you might be able to do. Also, you have to worry about form and all those other movements. So it just eliminates a lot of unnecessary work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another category that I was thinking about were things like subscriptions.
Uh-huh.
So there are two big mobility apps or subscriptions that you can look at if people want to work on mobility.
Yep.
So one I know you like is ROMWOD.
Yep.
That's been around forever. They offer, essentially it's like a set video, right, that you follow.
Yes.
And it's a lot, would you say it's like similar to yoga or has its roots in yoga, but it's a little more?
It has its roots in yoga, but it's geared more towards somebody who enjoys the CrossFit style workouts.
Yeah, so it's more mobility based. The point is to get more mobile.
Yes.
Right.
And I mean, as somebody who's used it for the last 2.5 years, almost 3 years now, it does exactly that.
Yeah.
as long as you practice.
And how much is that? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think it's $14 a month.
Yeah.
So it's not breaking anybody's bank.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, it's like 50 cents a day. Right?
Yeah. And it's, like I said, it's totally worth it if you invest the 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes a day.
Yeah. The other one is GoWOD, which I've used before. That I want to say is around $12 a month, but they have different plans, and it's similar, but it's less of a guided video and more of here's a video of the movement that we want you in or the mobility position, and then here's a timer, but it doesn't talk you through it. It just shows you a video, and then you kind of do it on your own, and it times you for that.
Yeah.
So those are two subscriptions that I thought could be good for people.
Yeah, I think those are great, and pairing that with like the massager, that's if somebody is always sore, that's a nice 1-2 punch for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and I would say, especially for our people, because they're getting their fitness here. There are definitely remote programs out there, or special training programs that you can subscribe to or pay for. But when you think about people who get the workout done here, what do they need outside of here? And recovery, I think, is probably the biggest one, right?
Yeah, between whether it's mobility or just making sure that you're recovering in terms of nutrition. Both are important.
Yeah, and I would definitely say check out our past gear episodes, because there's a lot of gear specifically in there that we haven't really talked about, but could be good for gifts, like grips and tape and belts and the shoes that we talked about.
Yeah, all the fine stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other gifts that like I would recommend that somebody walked into me right now. It's like, I have X amount of dollars to spend. What should I get? And I think we've covered all of them.
Yeah,
I would recommend right off the bat.
How you were framing it in terms of like a beginner versus an intermediate. Like, they're going to need different things.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you're going to build up this, library of gear, and so you might not, because you already have your workout shoes, you already have lifters, you already have a belt, you might not need that stuff. So that's where you get, more niche and more specific in terms of like what you need.
Yeah, exactly.
But the suppliers that typically, people are going to go to are places like Rogue Fitness, GetRx is another one, Fringe Sport. Those are the three off the top of my head.
Yeah, those are the three that I go to.
Yeah.
So.
But if you check those guys out, they'll also have their own, holiday buying guides.
Yeah.
As well.
I think one thing for somebody who loves data and just visualizing things, and this is probably more for somebody intermediate to very experienced, something along the lines of like a Whoop.
Oh yeah,
where you can.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because that's also another subscription-based service.
Yep.
One-time upfront fee for the band itself, and then you subscribe, and it tracks your quality of sleep, your energy output for the day, and kind of creates this nice balance of what you need and what you need to do to recover, how much sleep you need to get each night, and it kind of takes data over the past several days to average what your peak output would be for this day.
Right.
And
it measures heart rate variability.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot of data on sleep.
Yeah, and I used it for a little bit and I absolutely loved it. And then with moving and then everything shutting down for a little bit, I've just never resubscribed.
Got it.
But I think that's something that's coming up back on my list.
What do you remember pricing on that?
I want to say, I don't want to say because I don't remember. I think it was $30.
$30?
Yeah, I think
around
a month.
30, right?
I think a month.
Yeah.
And it's maybe not every month, but you don't, like if you do it like 1 or 2 months out of the year, just get a gauge and circle back maybe 6 months from whenever you do it. Nice progress points.
Yeah.
To me, that's a lot of fun to kind of see that.
Yeah, I have friends who have it. I haven't used it. I have friends who have used it. They love it because they are, typically they love the data from it.
Yeah.
And then especially if anyone who is looking to train 5 or 6 days a week, that's definitely good to know. Like, all right, I'm going to take this day relatively easy because, my HRV is, in the red, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting a red light or yellow light. Whereas green light days, you can like really push it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great gift for.
Yeah.
Like I said, intermediate experience and somebody who loves those data points.
Yep.
It's phenomenal.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I can't think of any other gifts that I would suggest off the top of my head other than the stuff in the equipment episode.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we'll probably think of 10 others once we finish, but
yeah,
that's all I got too.
Yeah. Well, we'll link to a blog post that has a few more items and might see a few repeats. So yeah. Happy holidays, happy New Year, happy whatever month you're viewing this in.
That's right.
Please listen carefully.